Yo, and with that, we say welcome into the hottest sports podcast in the South. Sentell, baby. We're live on Facebook. As you can see, I am not by myself. Got the big man in the building, Mr. Cowboy fan himself, Mr. Laker, Florida State Seminole, Mr. Shakir Rowe is in the building.
Last year.
Absolutely did an
I just thought about that.
Absolutely did an NFL preview. It was off the charts last year, and your boy, I successfully picked the NFL champion last year. I picked the Super Bowl champion last year. If you remember the show, people, I picked the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, little did I know, they would be taking on my San Francisco 49ers. So it kind of changed the whole dynamic of that. But I did, in fact, pick the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. And I got to admit to you that, kind of depressing. Yeah, it was bad, man. I mean, it was horrible. I had to go through so much pain. I had to do some therapy, but I'm better now. I'm gotten over it. It's a new season. So want to welcome everybody into the show, man. You know who I am, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the one man dance. Again, I am joined by my main man Shakir Rowe. We're about to get into this NFL thing later in the program. We're going wall to wall, division by division. Gonna pick conference champions, give our picks for defensive, offensive rookie of the year, MVP, and then of course gonna pick our Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl matchup, Super Bowl champions. Should be interesting to see who goes where. But first things first, let's do a little SI headlines from last night in the NBA. Just give me a second and we can get rolling. We'll get into some of this action from yesterday. All right. There we go. All right. Last night in game 4 of the NBA Eastern semifinals, it was the Milwaukee Bucks defeating the Miami Heat 118-115 overtime. Chris Middleton was outstanding yesterday. 36 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, played 48 minutes. And you wonder why Chris Middleton played 48 minutes. You wonder why he had 36 points? Well, there was no Greek freak. But basically, about 11 minutes into the game, he re-injured his ankle. We didn't see any more of Giannis Antetokounmpo at all last night. And what a gutsy performance by the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, because once you thought Greek freak went out, we pretty much assumed that was the death knell. But they fought. Brook Lopez played well. Eric Bledsoe gave him some quality minutes yesterday. And I just thought Chris Middleton kind of showed up as a star yesterday. I know we don't think of him as a star. He's not a household name per se. But he hit the shot late in the shot clock, late in the game to kind of ice the 3 on a switch. And he knocked it down. And got to give him credit, man. I left him dead and buried after game 3. I posted on Facebook that the Miami Heat had taken their school. And so thoughts about yesterday Bucks and Heat game from yesterday? Thoughts?
I think the Heat, once Giannis came out, they shut it down. You can tell they weren't have the same defensive tenacity. I feel like they should have kept what they were doing, kept steady at it, and they would have closed them out. Now I do think where the Bucks are going wrong in this series is what you said in your opening just now. You said that Chris Middleton played 48 minutes. That he came out the other day and he said, "Oh, we're only going to play our superstar." I think he said 35 minute cap. I don't agree with that. In this playoffs, you got to extend these guys out to the 40 minute mark, especially when you're down in the series. So I think he's ultimately going to lose his job. And he's going to refocus and come back and close them out.
I would agree. Mike Budenholzer, man, he's in Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta fans would tell you they had a couple seasons. It was 6+ wins. And they were just right now. LeBron had a lot to do with it. They were not better than those because LeBron was on the other team. But those teams won 6+ games and really didn't have any postseason success whatsoever. And it's laughable that you would have your 26-year-old back-to-back, soon-to-be MVP, not playing 40 minutes a game. Are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? You think you're gonna beat the Miami Heat playing your best player 34 minutes? I mean, that's just laughable. The notion that you could think you could play your star player, defensive player of the year that long. I mean, against a team as quality Miami, who has shown to be just such a good. I've just liked to watch this team play basketball. I am growing to a fan more and more every day watching them play. They were led by Bam yesterday. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. He played 44 minutes. He was great yesterday. And I mean, they're just tough. Like you said, I just think it's a Pat Riley loves to make up with his team. This is the kind of team he lives for, to have, compete in the playoffs every year. It's just a tough, gritty, lunch pail type of team.
And they don't have a true number one. They just play team basketball.
Yeah, and I call Jimmy is a low-key superstar. He's not one who got to dominate the ball to, put his imprint on the game. You're right. They don't have a traditional superstar. I think he has superstar mentality. I think he has superstar intangibles.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be a guy where I got to get the ball. I got to get 25 shots. So that's not how he's built. Now, if he need be, he can do that. But he's better served at, okay, how's the game being played? Let me influence the game in other ways. If I need to go ahead and shut down Chris Middleton tonight, or do I need to score 40 like he did in game one? He can do those type of things. So, big fan of Jimmy Butler. Bucks defeat Heat, make the series 3-1. I do see a friendly sweep tomorrow night in game 5. In the other series, it was the Lakers evening their best of 7 series with the Rockets. 1 game apiece. They defeat the Rockets 117-109. LeBron James, damn them, had a triple-double. 28 11 rebounds, 9 assists. AD dropped a 34 and 10. They held James Harden to 27 points yesterday. But this game was a game of swings and momentum. LA jump out to a big 6-point halftime lead. The Rockets come back in the third quarter and drop a 41 piece, and then the Lakers ultimately pull away late. If the Rockets go kind of ice cold in that fourth quarter, Laker fan extraordinaire over here. What did you see from your Lakers last night?
Oh, we came out like it was a. I think LeBron knew that if it was going to be tough going down 2-0 against this team, because you can tell the Rockets don't look like they did against the Lakers. Teams come in and they kind of just fold, but they don't look intimidated at all. So I kind of like what we did. Rondo came out, gave us some quality minutes. He was plus 28 on the night. I feel like I felt like it was a must win for us. I felt like if we were going down 0-2, we probably would go 0-7. We probably would have came out on top. But I feel like we came out and did what we had to do. Now, in terms of Houston, I just don't know what we're gonna do with Russell Westbrook. I feel like he lost that game for them.
I mean, that's Russell Westbrook, because if I'm in a team, I'm making him beat me with the jumpers, because any of those other guys are very capable of getting super uber high. You saw Eric Gordon in that third quarter, just from second quarter on to third quarter, he got insanely high. He had like no points in the first quarter. I look up, the guy got 23. Like, what the hell, man? He just started filling it up. So the game plan has always got to be sag off for Russell, make Russell shoot the jumper, don't let him drive to the basket and kill you with that. I'm just not a fan of the Rockets. I thought they could win one game. They did. Could they win another one? Yes, because they could shoot. Because if they hit 25 threes, they're going to beat you. I mean, that's just mathematicals. I mean, there's no way around it. If I hit 25 threes in a game, we're going to probably beat you. So they're capable of doing that again, but it's just too many mismatches on the floor for me that I don't like. And I typically don't like a jump shooting team anyway. And then we've seen how they fizzle out those stretches of game where they just continue to jack up three-pointers over and over and over, despite missing them over and over and over. Keep shooting, regardless of how bad they're shooting them. I just think at the end of the day, AD, had 34 and 10 last night. I told my guy, he was here last week, Rockets fan, I say AD should average 35 and 15. Easy. 35. They have nobody. They have what's his name? PJ Tucker is trying to check Anthony Davis. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? But like I said, it was a game of runs. Continuing forward in the series. What do you think? How do you think this plays out? The Lakers figured them out yesterday, or
I just think it's a case of the Lakers just being bored until the conference finals. You can tell that they mess around game 1, game 2, and then LeBron comes in, takes over playoff mode. LeBron. So I think they're just trying to wait don't make it to the conference finals. I think this will be 5.
I said 5 as well. I mean, after I saw the Rockets play the series against the Thunder, I thought the Thunder could have easily have beaten them. And I'm just not a fan. I mean, I like James Harden sometimes, but his games are unwatchable for the most part. I mean, he just dribble, travel, step back, shoot the three. I mean, that's basically what he does all game. And then the referee in his games are just abysmal. I mean, it's seemingly like he gets every call on the court. He's always at the damn free throw line. I mean, so it becomes sometimes nauseating and hard, very difficult to watch the Rockets play. But hey,
D'Antoni's gone if they lose.
I think they break it up if they lose. I mean, it's time to. You're not.
You gotta say something.
You put all your chips into the small ball lineup, and you know, kudos to my guy. I can't think of the GM. I like him a lot. He's right on the tip of my tongue. I'll get it later. But they went all in on the small lineup. It's not going to work. So what do? Let's tear it down. I mean, you're not winning a championship with this team presently constructed. Like that Tony would never, ever win a championship with this style of play. Just not built to win championships. It's cute. It's fun. It's exciting basketball at times, but it will not win you anything of significance. So I just, if it's Daryl Morey, that's a guy's name.
Yeah, Daryl Morey.
I would just break it up, man, and just, let's go and get it out of the way. It's over. It's done. You're not gonna. It's not gonna win anything.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, man. Let's take a break. We're gonna come back, and man, I'm telling you, we're going all NFL division by division, and we're gonna get it in right here on this NFL, man. We finna go crazy. NFL season starts on Thursday. Can you believe we made it here? I'm sure nobody thought that in May and June that we would not have an NFL season, but I don't know who you think the NFL are, people. Yeah. I don't know how deep you think these people pockets are or not, but these people are billionaires. They're going to figure it out. Major League Baseball figured it out. NBA basketball figured it out because they got deep pockets. They'll figure it out. But we got the NFL Thursday night, and I cannot wait for game one. We're going to talk about all of that more right after this break. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the hottest sports podcast in the South. Sentell live on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, well, damn. Yeah, I just totally messed that up. I just totally screwed. I apologize. I just we'll edit that out, but we totally screwed that up. We talked about the Chiefs, man. We know what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table. Love the Broncos offense, with Drew Lock and the company, man. I do. We're gonna go back and get all that. Raiders. He said he ain't not a big fan of Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, he too. I apologize so much. We messed that whole segment up. I forgot it. Let's move down to the Chargers.
Okay.
5-11 Chargers. Anthony Lynn, coming in. Well, it's his third year, I believe. You know, they got Tyrod Taylor. They drafted Justin Herbert. The Phillip Rivers is finally gone. Finally gone. They signed Keenan Allen to a nice extension the other day. I thought it was well deserved. What you saying for the? I like him defensively. Now, Derwin James is already out again for the season. That's like 2 times in the last 3 years, so they cannot keep him on the field. But you do have Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram on defense side of the ball. So can they get out of the basement, or they? I mean, how soon do we see Justin Herbert?
7 games in, maybe. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly for the Chargers this year. I'm not that big of a fan of Chargers, but like you said, their defense is impeccable. I'll give them that. I think they'll be competitive, just like the Raiders. They'll finish last.
Yeah, I just don't believe in Tyrod Taylor at all. I mean, I like the guy as a professional, but we've seen the Tyrod experiment. Yeah. He's just okay.
What do you think about Herbert?
I like Justin Herbert. I'm a huge fan of Justin Herbert. I think we see him about the back half of the season. I think we see Justin Herbert. He has to put on a little bit more weight. He's he's kind of thin, but I like him a lot. And this offense is equipped to do some things. Tyrod Taylor. I just that's Phillip Rivers, Tyrod Taylor. It just about the same. And defensively, I like him a lot defensively, but he can keep Derwin James on the field, but he never plays. And I love the cornerback Cameron Hayward, I think his name is, from Vanderbilt. He's really good. But that was the AFC West. Obviously, picking the AFC West, we're gonna probably pick the Chiefs.
My homeboy.
I got the Chiefs as well. Maybe a wild card team. We'll give you a wild card pick. Maybe a wild card team coming out of that division. We shall see. Let's stay in the AFC. The new look AFC East. The new look AFC East. Sitting at the top of that division last year, the 12-4 New England Patriots. But things have changed in New England. For the first time in like 22 years, I believe it is, 21 years, I believe it is, someone other than Tom Brady will be taking snaps for the New England Patriots, and that someone is the 2015 NFL MVP Cameron Newton, who was picked up by the Patriots late in the free agency. Should be interesting. I don't like any of the weapons around Cam. I know Cam will be motivated as heck, but I just don't like any of the weapons around him. You look at the offensively, offensive line is good. N'Keal Harry, Julian Edelman on the back half of his career. The backs are smaller backs, like Bill Kyle type backs. Do like the defense. I will admit that Bill Belichick will find a way to have a decent defense. He's never gonna have a horrible defense. He'll find a way to do some things to get Cam involved in offense. But Patriots, man, how you see the Patriots? Cam Newton, this thing working out?
I like Cam and the Patriots this year. I'm actually very excited to watch Cam those how they do, because I want to see what kind of offense they're going to be running. But like you said, it's been reports week after week that the Patriots wide receivers are underperforming camp. I just saw it like 3 days ago.
I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. I mean, you look at them, who they had. They cut Mohamed Sanu, who was a terrible pickup last year. He did nothing for them.
Yeah.
So I although I love Cam, and I think that he's gonna play really well. He has a lot to prove.
I do too.
I don't like this roster offensively.
I think the defense is actually gonna be field a lot more. Being out, 3 and out. So They won't be the same elite defense that they were last year, but they'll be a respectable defense.
I feel you. And the team that's finished second in the division also went to the playoffs. Everybody's darlings right now. I'm high on this team. I will admit that I am high on this team. I'll admit right offhand that I am biased to this team right now. The 10-6 Buffalo Bills, man, I think they have a chance to be really, really good. I know you like Josh Allen a lot. They go out and get a Stephon Diggs, and now all of a sudden, this offense maybe become from more of a mediocre offense to a dynamic offense with Josh Allen his third year in the system, like Devin Singletary a little bit. Yep. And then you got John Brown, a couple of small cold beaters, but now you got an alpha out there. Stephon Diggs is an alpha. Yeah, defense is tremendous. Davies White, Edmonds kid, they can rush the passer. What's not like about the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, man, these sports, they're talking about KC, Baltimore, Saints, Bucks, but nobody's really talking about these Bills, man. These boys, they have a chance to be very special this year. I think Josh Allen's gonna, his down the field accuracy was not down the field. The mid range actually was not very. It was average last year, so I look for him to get a little better in that area this year with Stephon Diggs running those slants and crossing routes. But their defense on paper, I don't think it gets much better than what it is.
They were second in the league last year in points allowed, 16.5 points a game. They were fourth in the league in yards allowed. So this is the fourth best defense in the NFL last year. They are tremendous, and they play to their advantage because up there, it gets stupid cold. So they got the ability. They got a big, strapping young quarterback from Wyoming to the cold. I love the Stephon Diggs. I think that was maybe the move of the offseason for a team that, on the cusp of doing something. And I just expect the Bills to be really good this year. Expectation would be
that's true.
Something I would worry about with a younger football team. Can they live up to it? Because this is what we're going to talk about for weeks now. Buffalo is supposed to win this division. But we'll see. Can they handle that?
I even like their coach.
I do. I like the Bills a lot, man. At number 3 in this division, the Jets actually went 7-9. I did not know they went 7-9. This is the third year, I believe, my guy Sam Darnold from USC. I don't know what to make of this roster. This roster is terrible. I mean, you lose Rory Anderson, who's maybe your only playmaker. Yeah. You got Jamison Crowder. I mean, Le'Veon Bell is really gave up on the game. I don't think he has any hunger or desire. The coach is an idiot. He has no business coaching any NFL team. I like Sam Darnold. I like the draft pick of Mekhi Becton, a big left tackle from Louisville. What a massive human being. Yes, man. Forget that. They traded their best player to the Seahawks. Jamal Adams is no longer a Jet. So what are we making the Jets, man? What are we making the Jets, man?
That's gonna finish last in this division. They're gonna finish last in this division.
I can see that. I want them to do be well, but they're not putting anything around him to be successful with. If you expect this guy to carry that group of receivers, then you're dead wrong. This group of receivers is terrible. It's a horrible group of receivers.
Yeah, now you got Le'Veon still talking about the coach. Like you said, I don't think he wants to be there.
I don't think he wants to be there. He just got the money. And that 4 is an interesting team. This is going to be an interesting team all year long. This is what Miami's created. They went 5-11 last year, but then you had all those draft picks. You had a bunch of free agent money. You signed a bunch of players. Now you're starting to get a little energy in Miami. They're going to be an interesting team. They're 5-11. They did announce that Ryan Fitzpatrick will start the season. No. Although they did draft Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not a huge fan, but I do think I'm not a huge fan, and that fan base is inspired by him. I love the head coach. They did tag down last year. They basically tanked the season, but they got 5 wins out of a terrible roster. Now they signed some free agents. They had a ton of draft picks. They used 3 in the first round, drafted some really good players. This is a wild card, not like I'm making a wild card, but this is some unknown with Miami. We don't know exactly what they're going to be. I thought Devontae Parker toward the late part of the season became the receiver they thought he would actually be
every week.
He's just torched Stephen Gilmore that last game against the Patriots. So, thoughts on Dolphins?
I think the Dolphins second in that.
Wow.
If you watched, I know you watched, but people out there, if you watched the Dolphins play, they were competitive in a lot of games, man. They just didn't have the pieces. So and they still don't have the pieces, but that division right now with Tom Brady gone, I feel like the Dolphins keep moving up and in the second division. I think we see Tua this year. I don't know when we see Tua. I'm a big fan of Tua. I love Tua. I like the young receiving core they got. Like I like the receiver that you mentioned, and I think their defense is underrated. It's not elite, but they
Mhm.
compete. So
Yeah,
I think they finish second.
because you got a defensive guy on that side of the ball that's gonna kind of keep schematically get you into some games without the star power. But they
Yeah.
got some, Christian Wilkins they drafted last year, and they picked up a couple guys in the all season. I can't, but
Second.
we're both gonna be in agreement that the Bills are gonna win this division.
Yeah.
I think the Bills are gonna have a great season. I really do believe in the Bills. I really believe it. Let's go to the AFC North. That's where we find the home of the defending NFL MVP. Lamar Jackson set the league on fire last year, but got an early exit out of the playoffs. Got bounced unceremoniously out of the playoffs. They went 14-2 last year. Led the league in rushing. Defensively, they were very, very stout. Number one team in rushing yards allowed. They, start to run the ball. They were really good at that. They picked up Calais Campbell. I thought that was a huge pickup. They drafted really well. Hollywood Brown is back, second year. Other tight end, Nate Andrews.
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins, man, wow! This is talking about first round talent. You got him late. You got him in the second round. So, what are you expecting out of the Ravens this year?
Love the Ravens. I love the. I'm a huge believer in Lamar Jackson, man. You look at this guy's resume. Look at what he did with college, big game. First year had some adversity, came back, led the league, storm, won the MVP. So every year, this guy is improving. So I feel like this year, same thing that he always does. I believe in defense. They just got rid of. They let Earl Thomas go. Yes. I didn't think that was a big deal for their defense, but I feel like their offense can be.
Yeah, fair to mention that they did let Earl Thomas. Basically the second year of his deal, he don't even get to play the season. They just told, you know what, we good, bro.
Yeah.
Like you've been acting the ass since you've been here, so we cut hit bait with him. I'm with you. I think Lamar continues to grow and evolve. The running aspect is always going to be. I think KJ Dobbins. What a man! The Clemson Ohio State game, he was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Before the injury, he was the best player on the field. Without question, he was the best player on the field in that game with a bunch of players, with a bunch of ballers out there. At 8-8 for the second division with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kind of a mixed bag. Big Ben got hurt really, really early. They tried a bunch of quarterbacks. Offensively, wasn't much to look at. We don't know what Juju Smith-Schuster is right now. Is he 1.5, a half of one? Is he 2? We don't know what he is. But the move that they made defensively last year, they traded for my man Mika Fitzpatrick of the Miami Dolphins, and it changed their defense. Their defense, points per game, they were 5th in points per game. And people don't understand that the defense was actually back to some kind of a steel curtain form. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Mika Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden had looked revitalized at cornerback, and they was 5th in points allowed. So, what? The biggest question is Big Ben. For me, I would have liked to see him retire. I thought he was declining. I thought Phillip was retired. Eli did the right thing. They all from draft class. I thought they all should went together.
Yeah.
But I know those two got something. Phillip definitely wants something to prove. But I just thought them guys was washed. Now Ben can say, well, it was injury related to why I didn't look the way I did beforehand. So, what are we expecting to see from Big Ben this year?
8-8 last year. I think Big Ben comes back and I think he's gonna have a good season. I think they'll have a winning record. Like you said, I agree with you. That defense, man, we'll make it. He came there.
Yes.
Turn
the whole defense around.
I love T.J. Watt. I feel like he's underappreciated in the league.
Yeah, he is very.
In terms of their wide receiving corps, like you said, I want to see what Juju does this year. When Antonio was there, last year it was a down year. I like James Washington. I think they have there the wide receiver. He was kind of ascending late in the year. I feel like they're gonna be the Steelers. I feel like they're gonna be right there. You know, Mike Tomlin, leader of men in the locker room. He's gonna have them ready to play football.
Absolutely. I'm just not sold on Big Ben. And Juju has yet to show that he could have been number one receiver. He was getting all them bones when Antonio was doing all his thing. He was getting all those grabs, and now he's kind of just been into a semi-1. He's a number 2. We don't know where he is. The running back situation is kind of cluttered. Connor, you had the kid from Kentucky, Benny Snell. Like some of the tight ends they have. But I think defensively they're gonna be good. I still think this is a solid defense. You look at a Haywood and a TJ Watt on opposite side of each other. I think the defense could be really good. I just don't know what to expect out of Big Ben. I really don't know what to expect out of him. I know I should know the answers to this because y'all come to me asking me for answers to the show, but I don't know what to expect out of him. Injuries, old. If I had to guess, I just think he would play up average football. I couldn't expect any more out of him. But look at him. This team that finished 6-10, the third team in the division. And last year, he's got to win the division. And they made me like a damn fool. They went 6-10. But I'm bullish as hell because this team is just too damn talented to go 6-10 again. The Cleveland Browns were 6-10, and a lot of that was Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
Baker regressed horribly last year, and that was the key. You can look at anything you want to look at. This team was a top 5 rushing team. That two-headed monster of Nick Chubb and the guy from Kareem Hunt, they were running down everybody's throat. That's including Baltimore. You go watch the Baltimore games. They beat them one time,
on the heels,
and they ran all over them. So they could run the football. You know about OJB, Odell Beckham Jr. You know about Jarvis Landry. They just added Austin Hooper from Atlanta. Yeah. This offense is ready to explode. They also dropped the left tackle to go along with the offensive line, so that should fix some of their problems. But it all begins with the trigger man. Do you believe in Baker Mayfield?
I think Baker's gonna have a much better season. Like you said, he did regress. I love this defense. I think that guy on the line, he has a chance to have a big season this year. Yeah. I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Swinging helmet guy? Myles Garrett. If he can stop swinging helmet at people, Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles Garrett is a monster. Yes. Yes, Myles Garrett. Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think this year we see Cleveland do something. Been waiting for them. I think this year we see them do something. You know, with all these teams, it's hard to say what they're going to do because we didn't have a training camp. We didn't have no kind of tape for these guys, so they're just going to go in there week 1, and I don't know. I hope Baker does well this year for him.
Man, you know what really hurts me? Why I'm probably not gonna get on them, even though I know they're super talented. The head coach, that was a joke. The guy they hired, Kevin Stefanski, what a joke. Another first-year head coach, man. You need to get an established guy here who can have some moxie, who can have some bravado. You bring in a first-year head coach who really didn't earn this job. The Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator, that guy that's the guy you gonna put this Mercedes-Benz offense into a guy who's a head coach of like a Honda Accord. This is what you're going to do to this team. And so I can't fully buy in because of that guy, Kevin Stefanski, or whatever his damn name is. They should have hired an experienced offensive coach or just an overall good coach. This is a terrible hire. That's why I cannot buy into it, even though they're super uber talented. And we'll talk about them more later as we make our picks. The team that had the first pick in the draft finished 2-14. That would be the Cincinnati Bengals. We all know who they drafted first overall. Joe Burrow, who's just had one of the most epic college football seasons a quarterback could ever have. What a brilliant season. Now he goes to the damn basement, from the penthouse to the damn basement when he goes to one of the worst run organizations in football. They got some offensive weapons. AJ Green will be back. I love the tight end. I love the piece from Washington, John Ross. What's the guy named? Tyler Boyd. Love Joe Mixon is a dynamic running back. They signed him to an extension. Joe Burrow, Bengals. What are we seeing from the Bengals this year?
I believe in Joe Burrow, man. I mean, any quarterback, you always hear me. If you have weapons, you are going to produce in the National Football League. They have too many weapons on the offensive side for him not to succeed. year. I think he's going to do very, very well. I think Joe Mixon, I think he's going to surprise everybody. He's going to be up there for the Russian title this year. He's one of my picks for the Russian titles. I think he's going to be up there. Defensive side of this ball, I don't believe in him at all.
They couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, to your point, let me find this these numbers because they were hideous. Yeah, they were down at the bottom of everything. 29th in yards. They were 29th in yards allowed. They were 24th, 50 points allowed. So they just couldn't stop a nosebleed last year. And but they got some hope. You got Joe, so you got a little hope, man. So I think it'd be better than 2-14. Not much better, but I think Joe will have a good season as well. In the AFC South, it was the Houston Texans. Obviously won the division last year. They were 10-6, led by the great, brilliant Deshaun Watson. Again, we don't trust Bill O'Brien. We don't like you, Bill O'Brien. We don't like you at all. You are an idiot. He traded DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of peanuts. Did get Brandon Cooks. They brought over Randall Cobb, I believe. None of them guys are in the same league. Not much of a running game. Offensive line still kind of trying to find itself. Do like left tackle a lot. They got from Miami. Defensively, they're getting worse, it seems, on the side of the ball. Thoughts on the Texans, man? Just overall thoughts of how good can they be? I don't think they can be that great.
I want it.
That's
I don't have much about the Texans, to be honest.
I mean, that's basically what they are right now. I mean, you don't have a dominant running game. You don't have a dominant offensive line. You don't really have a defensive line. J.J. Watt is not what he used to be.
No.
I like what is merciless a good bit, but I'm not seeing it this year from the Texans, man. I love Deshaun Watson. I'm not gonna bet against him. Another team that made the playoff, made it all the way to the AFC Championship. Finished 9-7. It was a freaking reincarnation of Ryan Tannehill, who was basically ousted out of Miami, got kicked, got just abandoned, just told to go away. Resurrected himself, led behind the big man, Deuce, Derrick Henry, ran him all the way to the AFC Championship game where they got a lead, but failed to hold it partly because Ryan Tannehill ain't that good. But they Titans think so. They gave him $100 million.
Well deserved.
Titans also just signed Jadeveon Clowney, which is a huge pickup on the defensive line. They have a great defense to begin with, so this should only bolster that. Tennessee Titans, man, can they repeat what they did last?
Vision this year, man. The way I look at it, man, their defense. They can get to the passer. They can stop the run. They got respectable offensive weapons. I look for A.J. Brown to continue to ascend in this league. They got the bell cap back there. The only question mark is Ryan Tannehill, because I still don't believe in Ryan Tannehill.
Nope. Won't get me to make them lies. I won't tell them lies. I don't believe. I think it's easy to run when you got 8-man boxes because people trying to stop Derrick Henry. They're going to have tape this year. They're going to figure out a way to make him beat them week in and week out. I'm just not sure. Love A.J. Brown. I told you people last year for the draft, he was the best receiver in the draft. It's on tape. Look it up. A.J. Brown was the best receiver in the draft. I told you what he was going to be, an absolute monster. And he was way better than Corey Davis could ever dream of being. He's just – my guy say he's the best blocking receiver in the league. You drafted him fourth, homegirl. You can't be your best blocking receiver in the league. You got drafted fourth overall. That cannot be good, okay? But I'm with you, man. Because I look at the structure. I believe in Mike Vrabel as a head coach. And no matter what, I think Ryan Tannehill can be competent enough. And defensively, they're going to be strong as heck. They did lose Logan Ryan out the secondary. But I just trust that organization, Mike Vrabel, more than I trust Texans coach and all that what goes with them. They just ain't surrounding him with enough. At 7-9, they finished third in the division. Indianapolis Colts, now with the Phillip Rivers experience, I've already made this very clear that Phillip Rivers is washed up. And this is not going to end well for the Colts. I love the offensive line. It is one of the best in the league, led by Quentin Nelson. I love the offensive line. Like some of their backs. Receivers, not so much. I'm Phillip Rivers, I'm not sold. I think Jacoby Brissett is better than Phillip Rivers at this point in his career. And if you watch any tape last year, Phillip was just not good. And you look at that offense the Chargers had, is it not better than the Indianapolis Colts offense was? Is right now. Exactly.
I agree.
You had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry,
Eckler back there.
Melvin Gordon, and you was a turnover machine. You were throwing passes I had no idea who the hell you were throwing the ball to. I had no clue what was going on with the offense last year. I had no idea. And I just can't see it getting any better.
I like the defense and the offensive line. That's about it.
I love the offensive line. Love Darius Leonard on defense. He's not a big coach. And I used to love Phillip. I did, but he's shown me that he's regressing bad. It's on tape. Now, you have the only good thing, you have Frank Wright as the head coach and a quarterback. And he get Phillip to understand that let's play a little bit more game manager than a game slanger. Let's try to win the game with our running game. You got Mac, they drafted JT, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. Let's try to be more of a running team, play action. Let's take care of the football. We have a good defense. We have a good offensive line. And we get him to have that mindset, because if he gonna try to think he's gonna be in San Diego again slanging, they're gonna be in trouble. We didn't pick the AFC North. I think we got the Ravens.
Okay, we got it.
Should we even talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars? For the sake of this show, we're gonna talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They went 6-10 last year, but that's neither here nor there. If you've been reading any papers or watching social media or watching any sports shows, you realize the Jacksonville Jaguars are basically tanking the season. They have basically given all their players away. Leonard Fournette is gone. They traded their best defensive end. They traded their starting safety. And basically anybody's getting traded from around there right now. It looks like a tank job. It's similar to what Miami did last year, but they doing it at the beginning of the season. Clearly, they're trying to get Trevor Lawrence, maybe Justin Fields. I don't know. But they're definitely looking at a top 2 pick. This is an abomination right here.
I don't see nothing good.
I think that they should black out all their football games because this is just atrocious.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
You should not force people to have to watch this. No one should be forced to watch the Jacksonville Jaguars play football this year. It's unfair. It's relentless. It's unfair, I tell you. Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on to the NFC, man. We started off in the AFC West because the AFC West represented the Super Bowl. Well, guess who represented the Super Bowl in the NFC? The NFC West. Let's start with right here. Let's start right here with the San Francisco 49ers. A surprising 13-3 after going 4-12. They drafted Nick Bosa. And then this team just finds an identity with Kyle Shanahan. They run the football. They play action you to death. They emergence. But I told you at the beginning of last season of this show, I came on, I had an opening, the best player in the NFL that you did not know at the time. Not everybody knows who he is, George Kittle. I told you people. I told them that. And all of a sudden they could run the football, play action you to death. Jimmy did enough offensively, and the defense just took off. Oh, I mean, the D-line is just nasty. I mean, it's nasty as it got last year with Nick Bosa and Buckner and Armstead and D Ford in the linebacker core. Which is out. This defense, I want to brag on this. This defense is loaded. It is loaded. Now, Super Bowl hangover, I believe in that. I truly believe in Super Bowl hangovers. Most teams who lose the Super Bowl do not get back. As a matter of fact, it only happened once since the early 90s. The Patriots did it a couple of years back when they lost to the Eagles, and they came back the next year and they won the Super Bowl. But prior to then, it had been the early 90s when the Bills went 4 times in a row. But there's nothing not like about this team. Yeah. It's nothing.
Yeah, defense is stacked, man. We talk about it all the time. They can get to the pass, and they can do everything. Biggest question for me still is that guy at quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo. People don't like Jimmy. I like Jimmy. I feel like he's gonna take a next step. I feel like they're gonna be right there for 1 or 2 between them and Seattle probably. I feel like the 49ers, they're gonna be the 49ers. They're gonna play defense and run the football.
I like it, man. I think we can. I think Jimmy does take a step. You gotta remember now, he come back last year off the ACL injury.
Yeah.
He never looked really quite comfortable. But despite all that, he almost threw 4,000 yards. Had a great completion percentage. He played well. We just see our lasting image of Jimmy is not what we like it to be. But as a regular season, he played really well. And I think the second year in the system, Matt Ryan won the MVP. I think he balls out and plays a whole lot better. Love Deebo Samuel. Man, I just like this team a lot. I mean, just because they're my team, I'm just looking at like, this team is freaking loaded everywhere across the board. They pick up Trent Williams. Nobody's talking about that. We picked up the best offensive lineman in football, and no one's talking about that. He's the best left tackle in football, and nobody even knows that we have him. No one knows we have Trent Williams, the silverback. Oh, I love it, man. This division is going to be brutal this year, by the way. At 2, the Seattle Seahawks, who we badly beat out, if you remember. It was that close to being the Seattle Seahawks who won the division. They went 11-5. I love the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I love Russell Wilson. The Jamal Adams trade is huge for them. That defense now with Bobby Wagner. Man, they don't have the premier pass rushers because the Clowney is gone, obviously. So I don't know who's going to get after the passer, but I just believe in Russell. I don't give a damn what you put around Russell. I just don't.
He's going to make it happen.
He's going to make it happen. That's what good Hal Russell does to me. This guy has been giving me headaches for damn 8 years. I'm sick of Russell Wilson, okay? And I mean that in a good way. I just like Seattle. I just like what they built. Their culture is just there.
I remember that primetime game. I think it was last season. You came out and said something about Russell Westbrook. You said, this guy's giving you fits. That's what he does, man. That's what he does. But I love Seattle. I love Russell Wilson. He does everything that you need to do. Defense is going to be the defense. I think they'll have another good year. I think they'll be right there with it all.
I can't. I'm not betting against Russell. And I'm just not. I mean, Metcalf came on late strong, so they finally got a big time receiver to go along with the smaller guy that they already had. But man, they got Lockett, but Metcalf took off last year, and they found him a little rapport with him and Russell toward the end of the season. They started to connect a whole lot more. That should be a scary sight for defenses. At number 3, 2 years removed from the Super Bowl, the 9-7 Rams. What? Wow. They've just kind of gone from the outhouse, the pit house to the outhouse too. They've got rid of a lot of players. Brandon Cooks is gone. Mainly the guy who's gone is Todd Gurley. And for me, when Todd Gurley was right, that's what made them so dynamic. Yeah. Once the running aspect of that game was gone away, we started. The boy wonder was not the boy wonder. It's Jared Goff who we think Jared Goff is. Will the real Jared Goff please stand up? Who do you believe Jared Goff to be? Is he an upper echelon quarterback or is he a middle tier type guy?
Right now, I'll take Josh Allen over. I'll take Josh Allen over him. I don't believe in Jared Goff at all. Like you said, I agree with you 100% there. Todd Gurley was that offense. You're running the ball. He's getting all those yards. It's easy to play action and dump it. They got those receivers that can run after the catch. That's their offense right there. In terms of their defense, I don't even believe in their defense. And they have Donald. They have some pieces there, but they're gonna struggle this year.
Again, I'm with you. This division is so tough, and it's gonna be hard for me to see. They played 9-7 last year, which is good. Yeah. But this division is still stacked. I think the team we talk about next gonna improve too. I just don't know where they're going. Like I said, you got Aaron Donald, but you did lose Dante Fowler Jr. You got not Marcus Peters. You got Jalen Ramsey. He was a dog. I gotta see it. What were they? Cause last year, that's the real Rams, or the year before when they got the Super Bowl. So, cause that Super Bowl game, and then all the way to this season, that offense did not look like it did 2 years ago. Yeah. So, who are the real Rams? We will find out. They opened that beautiful stadium up this year. What a just a masterful stadium. On Hard Knocks yet? Have you watched Hard Knocks? No.
Oh
man, check out Hard Knocks. This stadium is awesome. They're sharing it with the Chargers.
Okay.
LA Chargers. At number 4, who finished 5-10 in this division, the Arizona Cardinals. What an interesting offseason the Arizona Cardinals had. They gave us fits last year. They played us to the wire both times. I didn't believe in Kyler Murray, and I'm still not there. But I'm not the type of guy that will. I'm not the type of guy who's gonna dig in like he's gonna suck forever. And he can't. You can change my mind. You can convince me. He played really well. He was the offensive rookie of the year last year. He played really well. Took a lot of damn sacks because obviously when you run around like that, you take sacks. But what an interesting option they get DeAndre Hopkins to go along with Larry Fitzgerald, to go along with Christian Kirk. Love the trade they made with Miami's running back last year. I can't remember the guy. Kenyon Drake started playing really well once he got to Arizona. They drafted the kid from Clemson, Simmons, at linebacker. Can the offensive line hold up is the question. And what else do they have in the defense? They did sign Budda Baker to a big extension. I like him as a safety. He's not a game-changing safety, but I think Arizona could be better than the Rams in this division. What say you?
I agree. I'm right there with you. I have them at 3 in this division. They are a team turning up very fast. If they can get that offensive line start out a little more, I think that'll give them a little better chance. I'm a big believer in Kyler Murray. You look at the tape against those top echelon teams last year. He was right there, man. But like you said, they didn't have that much talent. They didn't have enough to beat those top echelon teams. I have them third in this division this year.
I'm kind of leaning that way too. I like what Kyler's doing, but again, second year seems to be always a tough year for a quarterback. Sophomore slump. We saw Baker just do it. So
more tape on you.
Yeah, more tape on you. Can he improve his game? Division winners. Who we think winning this division?
At Seattle.
He says Seattle. I'm not even mad at that because I'm not mad at good Harold Wilson wins this division because it will surprise me. I gotta go with the Niners, man. They're loaded, man. They loaded. And I came here and trying to be objective as possible. This roster is loaded. It's loaded, man. It is loaded. From top to bottom, it's loaded. I do give a big advantage to obviously the quarterback position, but I think everywhere else I would probably favor the 49ers. But that's the difference. That quarterback can be the turning point. Russell can win a game by himself, no doubt. Let's move to your division, the NFC least. The Eagles won this decrepit division last year at 9-7. Carson Wentz somehow won 3 straight games with me, you, and my fiance playing receiver. I have no idea how they won the division. Do love Miles Sanders. Love they did the offseason. They showed their offensive line. They bring back Jason Peters. They get big play Darius Slay from Detroit. They needed a quarterback so freaking bad. I don't expect all of the receivers to get hurt this year. Ashon should be back. Deshaun should be back. Love the tight end, Zach Ertz. Love Dallas Goedert. I mean, I just think the Eagles should be a whole lot better this year. I think they go a lot better than 9-7 this year. If Carson Wentz can play a whole season. If he can play a whole season. I ain't never seen him play a whole season. I don't know.
You don't know what he can
know what he can do. Now I know you hate the Eagles, but try to be as objective as possible about the Eagles. What do you think about the Eagles? Your competition in the NFC East.
Love their offense. They're explosive, man. And it's like you said, Slay, he was a huge pickup for them. They couldn't stop anything. Actually, I think the Eagles, they'll be there. I kind of hold off until we get later in the East to kind of say what I want to say.
The Eagles a lot, man. The offensive line can protect, and then of course, it's about Carson Wentz. Second team in this division had a wow offseason so far. 8-8 Cowboys. One of the most talented teams in the NFL. What an all-season you guys have. You had a beef with Dak all season. It finally ends with him signing a franchise tender. You couldn't get a long-term deal done. You bring back Amari Cooper on a huge deal. You bring in some really good defensive line pieces. Again, we've said this for several years now. This is one of the most talented. I had him in the Super Bowl last year. Because they're super uber talented. You drafted CD Lamb to go at Michael Gallup, to go at Amari Cooper. I don't expectations. Expectations of what undo the Cowboys. If we came into the season going, Cowboys gonna suck, they would win the division. If we come and say they're gonna be good, they gonna suck. This is what they do, man. I mean, this team is so good. It's hard for me to ignore them. Like I can't ignore them because they're so good from a talent standpoint. What are you seeing from the Cowboys, man?
Look at that roster, man. I like our head coach pickup. I didn't like the head coach pickup when we first got McCarthy. But now the season here, I feel like he's going to be a big help for us in terms of our focus and expectations. Like you said, the head coach that we had last year, man. Team just didn't listen to him, man. You got all that talent. You need someone that has some type of pedigree, type of resume
that got nobody respected him, but that can happen again because Jerry controls that.
That's
if
true.
You're letting players go to your front office to talk directly to you and skip the coach, then you're creating an environment where we're not respecting the head coach because you're letting us get away with it. But I do think Mike McCarthy had the clout, had the cachet to demand the respect and command respect. Say, Jerry, hey, stay your ass where you at. Let me run this. Because if he can do that, the sky's the limit.
Gosh, you got rags of riches out there.
Sky's the limit. At number 3, the 4-12 New York Football Giants. It was a kind of a mix. You know, they kind of went to Daniel Jones. Eli kind of gracefully bowed out. Saquon was banged up a little bit. They drafted Andrew Thomas, the offensive tackle. They've had offensive line problems seemingly for years now. Not a whole lot to really sink my teeth into when I look at this roster. Not that it can't be. I just don't They nobody jump off the page to me other than Saquon, obviously. Yeah. What are you seeing for the G-Man? Better than 4-12 this year?
No. I'm not that big of a Daniel Jones fan. I don't really see them.
And you know, they first round draft pick last year, DeAndre Baker. We know his situation. He's been accused of armed robbery and all the other kind of nonsense. So you basically lose a first round pick who was supposed to help you, you know, in a passing league. You don't have this guy here anymore. I'm not. And then the Joe Judge hire. I'm still pissed about that. How did this guy get a damn job? How did Joe Judge, how did a special teams coach get a freaking head coaching job in the National Football League? Please explain to me how Joe Judge got an NFL head coaching job. I will wait for that. Someone comment to me and tell me how that happened. Giants stink. And the organization stink for making that damn hire. A terrible hire. So many other people who was worthy of that job. And from a one dumpster fire to a damn shit show, the 3-13 Washington football team, what an absolute mess of an all-season this has been. Obviously, you heard me refer to them as the Washington football team. They finally changed that racist-ass nickname. Now we're going to find out that Daniel Snyder and the rest of this front office has run some kind of a sexual harassment ring forever, environment that is just toxic. What a shit show they are. They did draft my man from Ohio State, the defensive end. I'll say his name soon. It ain't him. Chase Young. They named the quarterback the other day from Ohio State as the starting quarterback. He got named. Oh, the greatest story about Washington football team. The best story about the Washington football team is that Smith. Yes, that Adam Smith, who basically just, if you see the pictures of his leg after his injury, he basically had a complete fracture of his leg, and it just looked mangled. He's been cleared. And not only was he cleared, he's also made the 53-man roster. No, they're going to start. They're going to start Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is going to start. But that's the only good thing I can say about the Washington football team. You have anything good, it's about the Washington football team.
Now you brought that point. That is the only good thing. But that's actually going to be a key thing, too, because you look at what Alex Smith did to the progression of Patrick Mahomes. So I'm hoping that he can do the same thing for Haskins. I actually really like Haskins. I think he has some potential. I like the wide receiver.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, he's a problem.
they played together at Ohio State. They had a great chemistry last year. That guy was good. Now he finished like 5th in the offensive player rookie of the year. He had a sensational season, and people probably didn't know because he played for Washington. And nobody watches Washington football. No one. Not even their fans watch Washington football. Not even their fans watch. What a joke. All right, now we got to pick. You ain't gonna be objective. Tell me.
I'm gonna.
No. I'm not gonna ask you that way. Why would the Cowboys win the NFC East?
I picked the Cowboys last year to win the NFC. Picking them again this year. I mean, I'm just gonna go back and I think the head coach was the Achilles heel. Well, a lot of things was Achilles, but I think the head coach this year will help us in the addition of the wide receiver, the rookie wide receiver. I have a brain fart right now, but I think Dak Prescott eventually wants that big deal. So I think we're going to have a very motivated Dak Prescott once again. We led the league defense, I think, last year. I think we'll do the same thing again this year. We got too much offensive talent. We got too much defensive talent. I think this year is the year that we compete for a Super Bowl. This is our year.
Okay.
This is our year.
I'm just gonna go with the theory because it's like every other year y'all play well. So this is you played bad last year, so you're gonna play well this year. I'm gonna pick you to win the division this year, just because of that. That's only the reason I have. I expect them to play better this year, first year coach, and much like last year, I don't know what Carson Wentz is. One thing about that, knocking on wood, he plays all the damn games, so I can count on him to be out there each and every week. I cannot pick a guy who I just can't trust to be at that end, week in and week out. So I also had the Cowboys winning the NFC East. NFC North, we move on. The Packers won the division last year, 13-3. The emergence of Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers, the emergence of Aaron Jones, who was an absolute bear cow for them last year. That was an odd 13-3 season for the Packers. They wasn't nobody would say it was a great team.
It wasn't.
But Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers was enough. I like the two ends, the Smith boys that had the end, but they still don't have any linebacker play. like some of the secondary people they had, Jai Alexander and a couple of the guys they have out there, King and a couple of guys like that. But that one of the weirdest 13 teams I've ever seen because they wasn't that great.
Knock you off your socks.
No, they didn't. What do you see from the Packers?
Well, the thing I think about is that division is so weak, so I wouldn't say it's a cakewalk, but it's kind of easy for them to make it there. When you got Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, they're gonna find a way to get you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But like you said, that I think about it now, it wasn't the best 13 win.
We smashed them in the NFC Championship game. I mean, we smashed them twice.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was the representative against us. So like I never bought into them. They couldn't beat us. I know they couldn't beat us. I'm looking at the roster like that team can't beat us. Like it just can't. Like they have nothing.
I think they'll regress this year. I don't think they won't have 13 wins.
I agree with that. Then they bring in Jordan Love, the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers. We don't know how that's gonna play. Matt LaFleur saying we never discussed it with Aaron. You didn't. Oh really? Really? You didn't discuss it with Aaron. Well, that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing. Let's move to the Vikings. They also made the playoff. We also beat the Vikings in the playoffs. So we beat 2 NFC North teams last year. Now I think you saying Green Bay take a step back. I think Vikings take a step back. Without Stephon Diggs, they did pick Justin Jefferson up from LSU, but that's a huge loss. Dalvin Cook hasn't been happy. I don't know if he's in camp yet because he's been talking about getting a contract. He may have been there, but when you got these contract disputes, these guys have got 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in the door, and usually what happens, they either get hurt or they don't perform well as you think they're going to perform in that said season.
Especially these backs.
I like it. I love the defense. I like Harrison Smith, love Barr, and the other linebacker. They really, really good fly around, but you know, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He is who we think he is.
You say it every year.
I mean, he just
the lights get bright. You say it every year.
He's just a guy, man. When the bigger the game, the worse he plays. He's just a guy, man. He'll get you to the playoffs, maybe, but he's never gonna get you where you ultimately trying to go.
Yeah, I think they'll regress again. I think they'll regress as well. This division, man. I don't believe in this division at all.
Yeah, this is a bad division. This is a bad division. And we'll get to that in a minute. At 8-8, the Chicago Bears, Mitchell Trubisky experiment. Looks like he's gonna get the start again. But they did not pick up his 5th-year option, so they don't believe in him. They bring in Nick Foles. Defense was really good 2 years ago. They still got some good players. You still got Khalil Mack. Eddie Jackson is back in the secondary. You got some guys.
Yeah.
And Allen Robinson on offense. I don't know much about the running backs. Jordan Howard's gone, so if you thought Mr. Trubisky or Nick Foles, you're not winning a lot of games. If the answer is Nick Foles or Trubisky, win a lot of games. So I see about the same, but I see a 7-9. I see a 7-9, 8-8 football team.
Yeah, I like the defense. That's about it.
Yeah, we're not gonna spend a lot of time with it. At number 4 with the Lions, they at number 3 picking the draft. They went 3-12-1. Matt Stafford's back. Love Kenny Galladay. Love Marvin Jones Sr. I mean, they got some weapons. They drafted DeAndre Swift from Georgia. They just signed Agent Peace. I have no idea why they signed Agent Peace. They got like 800 running backs. They got the kid from Iowa, the tight end. He's really good. I can't think. Hawkinson, TJ Hawkinson. He's good. The offense is fine. I mean, I drafted Okuda. Love him. He's a great corner, and I think that's where you need to go with this game now. You need to have great cornerback play to win. Trey Flowers on one side. He's a really good defensive end. This is a hot seat year for the coach, Mr. Pencil, Mr. Backer hat Matt Patricia. He took this team over. They went 9-7, 9-7. Now he's going 6-10 and 3-12-1. So pressure's on Matt Patricia this year.
I'm looking for Stafford to have an amazing year. You look at every NFL season, he comes out hot. He comes out hot every NFL season. Same with Kenny Galladay. Been questions about him. Is he a number 1, 1A, 1B? I think that the offense is going to be fine this year. I think that I'm going to say I think that Stafford have better numbers than him.
I can always see Stafford doing that because he throws the ball.
Constantly, yeah.
They throw it around a lot. But I mean, for me, they have to get to 8-9 wins this year because, like I said, they took over 9-17, and he did nothing with it. But I like the way they're going. If they can keep Matthew Stafford healthy, I like their defense. I like their offensive weapons. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, shocking. Picking the Lions to win the NFC North.
Whoa! Give me a curveball. I just paused. Whoa. Wow. I think the Vikings. I think every team regresses in that division, but somebody got to win.
Somebody got to win.
I think the Vikings.
Win. You got the Vikings. I got the line. Let's move to our last division. We're gonna go back to we'll hit the AFC West again because we missed that first part. We'll go back to let's start with the NFC South. Finish with the NFC South.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to the AFC. Kind of repeat what we said about the AFC West. NFC South. NFC South is always stout. Saints won last year 13-3. They picked up Emmanuel Sanders from the 49ers. He was free agents. Nice pickup. You got Afc North. Man, you know what they got down there. I gotta tell you. You know what the Saints got. Michael Thomas is an absolute beast, and now you put Emmanuel Sanders out there with him. Love Jared Cook, the tight end. The defense is really, really good. The offensive line is one of the best in the league. Question is, do we see a decline from Drew Brees? Do we see a decline? Because you watch the last half of this last past season, his numbers started to go,
struggle with pressure.
Drop. Yeah, he struggled a little bit. Can you see a slight decline to Brees, or you believe?
No, I don't see another decline. I think he'll have another Drew Brees, but I think with this fan situation, affect a lot of teams, and I think it's going to affect this team probably the most.
Yes. Yeah, that home field advantage always plays big for them in the Saints. That's a loaded. You talk about the 49ers team loaded. On
roster.
Paper, this is a loaded roster too. They got players everywhere. Marshawn Lattimore, a great cornerback. They can rush the passer with Cameron. I think I got them two guys mixed up. The one from Pittsburgh, the one Saints. Cameron Haywood from the Saints. I got him mixed up with the guy from Pittsburgh earlier. Love the Saints, man. Ain't nothing like about them. Atlanta Falcons finished 7-9. I had these clowns pick to win the division last year. They started like 0-7 or 1-7, some crazy stuff like that. They got super uber offensive talent. They picked up Ty Gurley, but you got Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones. You know the name. In the offensive line protect, does Matt Ryan melt under pressure as he always seems to do. Not a big fan of their defense. I like AJ Terrell draft pick. I kind of see the Falcons doing what they've been doing previous year. They put a lot of points up, but not gonna win a lot. Don't equate to a lot of wins. What do you say for the Falcons?
You said the guy from Detroit's on the hot seat. I feel like the Falcons.
Dan Quinn,
he should have already been on the hot seat. If he does not do well this year, he needs to be gone.
Yeah, Dan Quinn was definitely on the hot seat last year. And they say this season they kind of won a few games back.
Yeah.
They even beat us. Do you remember on the last second with Julio Jones? So Dan Quinn definitely on the hot seat. Let's move to the most interesting team in the NFL. I think it will be the most interesting team in the NFL all season. Tampa Bay, the GOAT, the great one, the man, the myth, the legend. Tom Brady takes his talents down to mid beach, not quite South Beach. Tampa, they got a lot of offensive weapons. You know the names. They just put the Leonard Fournette. The defense was actually not as bad people think they were last year. I got these numbers right here. They was 15th in total yards, which that's pretty good when you have a quarterback who's turning the ball over like the quarterback they had previously in Jameis Winston. They was top in rushing. They was really high against the run last year. So, man, what you expect to see Gronk? I mean, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, Mike Ronald Jr., Cameron Brate, OJ Howard. What are we expecting to see from Tom Brady? Can he deliver?
I think Tom Brady's going to have a good season. Great season. Look at that offensive talent you just named off. I tell people this every week. If you look at the last 5 to 8 games, what that defense did, they were special. They can get to the pass. I forgot the guy's name.
Shaquille Barrett. Yeah. Yo, you should know that name. You should have Shaquille Barrett.
Shaquille Barrett, man, that defense is special. I look for these Bucks. These Bucks, they're gonna be good. I don't believe in though. We gotta see what Tom Brady gonna be. They're gonna be good, man.
Look, man. I know the New England Patriots did not have a lot of weapons last year. Tom played bad last year, and people are gonna point to he had bad weapons. But at some point, he's 43 years old. Somebody. That's father time. At some point, and this BA offense is built to drive the ball down the field. He's not capable of driving the ball down the field the way he wants to drive it down the field. Now, Jameis had a high turnover rate because for one reason, he did like to throw it down the field, which means you put the ball in harm's way. The other time, he just made a ridiculous decision. I think that Tom would split those interceptions in half, but will it be enough from an offensive standpoint to overtake the Saints in this division? Remains to be seen. At number 4, new head coach, new quarterback. They went 5-11, but they do have Christian McCaffrey. The Carolina Panthers. Where do we start with Matt Rule and the Panthers? No more Cam Newton. Teddy Bridgewater is not a starting quarterback. Luke Kuechly retired. Can it be better than 5-11?
I see them right 5 wins.
5 wins.
They don't got much going for them. They got DJ Moore out there. Christian McCaffrey. We know what they represent. I don't see more than 5 wins.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this, man. I think they're improving some areas, but the defense, they did do a good job in the draft. I like what they did with Derrick Brown. That's a great pickup. They went 3 straight defensive players in the first 3 picks they had. Mm-hmm. I thought that was outstanding. Matt Rule's a defensive guy. If you look at Baylor's defense, they were really good last year. They can improve in some areas. Defense, they was like one of the worst teams against the rush. Bringing up Derrick Brown to remedy that. That's what you bring him in for. So, tough question right now is who is going to win the NFC South? This is one of the most competitive divisions out there. Who you got?
I got Tampa Bay, man. I believe in Tampa Bay this year. I got Tampa Bay.
Man. I'm not going to go there, right? I want to. I can't. I'm going to go with the Saints again. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to go with the Saints, but they're probably like 11-5 this year. They're not going 13-3. I think Drew Brees does have regressed, but I don't know what Tom is right now. I know people think he's supposed to be, but he's 43. So you're not getting his prime. If he was coming off a better season last year and going through this situation, I would believe. Even with the weapons, I just don't see it. So I'm going to go with the Saints. Let's kind of go back to the AFC West. We talked about this earlier, but you didn't hear us. So Chiefs won the Super Bowl. We know about Pat Mahomes. They did lose Kendall Fuller on defense, but they drafted Clyde. It was allowed LSU, but Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, DeMarcus Robinson, Nicole Hardman. You know the names, man. This offense is prolific. They were first or third in scoring and second in yards or something like that. So what do you expect to see out of Patrick Mahomes, boy, this team's offense?
This team will not have a Super Bowl hangover.
Super Bowl hangover, you said.
They will not have a Super Bowl hangover. This team, when you look at this team, man, it doesn't get much better than what Patrick Mahomes have offensive. He has all those weapons. Got a respectable defense. They got the Honey Badger out there. I think they'll be competitive again this year. Jones guy got a big contract, well deserved. I like him. Andy Reid got another contract.
Yes.
This team is gonna be there right when it's all said and done.
I like the Chiefs a lot, man. Nothing like about not like about Pat Mahomes, man. They're not, like I say, they're not neither bell cow. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will do just what he needs to do. He'll catch the ball in the backfield. He'll break some runs because you'll be gassed on defense. They chuck you up and down the field. They're going to be fine because they got Patrick Mahomes. They're going to be fine. But the team I really like, and I talked about them earlier, Denver Broncos, Drew Lock. What a draft Darrell Elway has had. They have surrounded this kid with so much offensive talent, man. They drafted Cortland Sutton a couple years ago. They got Noah Fant at tight end. This year they go out and get 2 receivers. Jerry Jeudy, who might have been the best receiver in the draft. KJ Hamlin out of damn Penn State is an absolute lightning bolt. They pick up Melvin Gordon at running back. And they already had with the Lindsey. They already had Philip Lindsey.
Yep.
Oh, man, this offense could be dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with you. This offense is super electric. This is one of my dark horses team. Offense is respectable. I really like this team. I'm gonna be watching them every Sunday to see how they play. Big Drew Lock guy. Absolutely,
man. I like him a lot. I don't know what the defense is gonna give you. Brian Miller, a couple of players, but offensively they should be really dynamic. Las Vegas Raiders. John Gruden's third year at the helm. Derek Carr. I like Darren Waller at tight end. I love Josh Jacobs at running back. He finished like third in the offensive rookie of the year. He was sensational last year. They drafted Cleveland Farrell a couple years ago from Clemson. Mm-hmm. Can he finally become a true pass rusher that they need? They went 7-9, man. I mean, what did they go up or did they go back, or did they kind of remain the same?
I think they for the same record, but trend up. Their losses won't losses that they had last year. So they'll be like the Dolphins. They'll be competitive. Now, that's the same thing I'm looking for the Dolphins. But I think the Raiders, they'll be competitive and they'll start to trend up. I like what they're doing over there.
I like the Las Vegas. I like the stadium. I love the stadium a lot. Which fans could go in there, but that thing is super nice. When you're in the division, you just playing for second. Are they better than the Broncos? That drew a lot more than I like Derek Carr. I shouldn't be saying that. The Chargers finished 5-11. They drafted Justin Herbert with the 6th overall pick. Phillip Rivers is no longer there. Melvin Gordon is gone, but they did sign Keenan Allen to a huge extension. Love Mike Williams, love Hunter Henry, but I'm not a big fan of Tyrod Taylor. Love the defense, but Derwin James cannot stay healthy again. He's out again, second time in 3 years. He's missing the whole entire season after having a great rookie season. Now they can't keep him on the field, so. Can the Chargers get out of the basement in this division, or and how soon do we see Justin Herbert?
Chargers gonna finish. That Herbert up 5-6 games, you'll see Herbert 5-6 games.
5 or 6. Man, I think so. I think about halfway through the season, you'll see Justin Herbert. He'll play most of the back half of the season, but I don't trust in Tyrod and the rookie quarterback never. That's just not a good recipe. Defense will be good with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa do their thing. I like Cam. Come on, I can't freaking Vanderbilt, but he's really good. Cameron. There's too many. There's too many of these guys. So we're gonna both pick the Chiefs out to win this division. Yep. Let's do the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie. Your picks. For offensive rookie of the year and defensive.
Joe Burrow.
Defensive.
Young.
Dude, you read my notes? That's exactly what I got, man. Because I look at it and I go, quarterbacks have won this thing pretty much the whole time. 3 out of the last 5 years, I believe it is. Yeah. And then defensive ends, Nick Bosa won it last year, Ohio State. Joey Bosa won it 2016 as Ohio State the end. So you read my notes. We had the exact same pick for offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year, rookie of the year. Let's go MVP. Who do you have for MVP this year? Yes.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott for MVP. What do you think kind of season you gonna have? Kind of roundabout. What you think?
He got throw for 4,000. Oh, he's gonna have a good season, man. I just think that amount of offensive weapons we have in there, teams not gonna be able to load the box against. I mean, he has too many offensive weapons. He's gonna be motivated to get that big contract he feels like he deserves. Dak Prescott.
I can feel that, man. And if you look at MVP, the last 9 out of 10 quarterbacks, the last running back to win the MVP was 2012. And so you know it's going to be a quarterback. That's based off of that. The guy here was a homer. He went Dak. And I can see why he went Dak. Because Dak going to throw for a million bazillion yards. He's going to throw for a bazillion yards.
We got.
You know your team got to be good.
Yep.
They gotta win.
You gotta be available.
And you gotta have like a story. You gotta have like something like nobody's kind of not that you expected to win, but it's like you kind of came from nowhere and you were really good and you had a good team and it was a lot because of you. You got Dak. You've been a homer. I'm gonna be a homer. I got Jimmy G. I got Jimmy G. Jimmy G. He got Dak Prescott. We had the same exact offensive rookie of the year and defensive player of the year. Now we're not gonna do playoff wild card. We'll just go straight NFC Championship game and AFC Championship game. Then we'll go Super Bowls. Who you have in the NFC Championship game, and who do you have in the AFC Championship game?
I got go with. All right, for the NFC, I got the Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay.
The Buccaneers, and I got. You're right.
Yeah.
Got the Buccaneers and I got Seattle. I was gonna say the Cowboys, but I don't think we have quite enough to make it to the big game. I'm gonna go with Seattle. I feel like it's gonna be Russell Wilson. I just believe.
Man, the NFC West is so freaking tough. I want to go Saints, but they flamed out so many times in the last couple of years. I'm not that high on the Buccaneers. I hate the NFC North altogether. NFC West is really stout. Could go Seahawks and 49ers right here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win the division. I did. But I'm going to go San Francisco and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Got San Fran and the Eagles. All right. Super Bowl 55 double nickels. Who will be playing for Super Bowl 55? Lord Lombardi. Who's playing for the Lombardi? Seattle.
I think Seattle.
Got Seattle. Huh?
Go right to the
Super Bowl matchup. The matchup.
Okay. So I got Seattle and I got my guy Lamar Jackson.
So you got hold up.
That's what I said. We didn't pick
We didn't pick the AFC yet?
That's what I say.
Oh my bad. Go to I'm sorry. Go to AFC Championship game. Who you got the AFC Championship game?
I got the
Ravens.
I got the Ravens.
And
I got FC. Oh, okay.
Got KC.
Yeah.
The Ravens.
I got the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl.
Ravens and Super Bowl. So you got Ravens and Seahawks.
Correct.
Super Bowl. Okay, AFC, I'm going Buffalo and KC. And I got
That'll be it.
And I got Buffalo beating KC.
Buffalo. I
got San Fran beating the Eagles. It's a Buffalo versus San Fran. It's an old Swarmy pick. This ain't that. This Chris Berman special right here. Super Bowl 55, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49. That's what I have.
That's gonna be old school football.
And you have Ravens, Seahawks. All right, let's pick a winner.
The Ravens. At the end of the day, I believe in Lamar Jackson's progression. Every year he does something special.
Got the Ravens Super Bowl. We call it the revenge tour. The 49ers are calling it the revenge tour. Now, I would have not even thought about this prior to the season. Like I mentioned earlier, only one team has made it back to the Super Bowl after losing it since the damn 91 Bills who went 4 straight. I was looking a bit shook because I believe in the Super Bowl hangover. I believe in that. But 3 years ago, the Patriots lost the Super Bowl, got back and won it. So I got the 49ers over the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 55. You know, we won Super Bowl once upon a time, 55-10, we beat the Denver Broncos. So double nickel, baby. 49ers over the Buffalo Bills, a swarm special.
Wow.
And wow, that's our NFL preview, man.
We're back Thursday.
Hellacious show. That's no show Thursday. I'm out of town. Yours truly, when he come back next week, Monday show, we'll have Overreaction Monday. So we get to react to NFL football. We'll have Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. We will react to college football. So it'll be a huge show next Monday. Man, I want to thank my man Shakir Rowe for coming, man, dropping all that knowledge, man. What a great show, man. I mean, you're talking about breaking down every division. Offensive Rookie of the Year, MVP, Super Bowl winners. We did it last year. We did it again this year, man. Appreciate you coming through, big homie.
It feels like Christmas to me.
Oh, I cannot wait, man, to get it on. We got some NBA games on right now. We have Toronto and Boston playing. What a series that has been. You know, Boston was about 0.5 seconds from being up 3-0, and all of a sudden it's 2-2. Don't know what the score is right now, but I'm sure it's a competitive ball game. Raptors and Boston, and tonight is the Clippers and the Nuggets. Their series is tied at 1-1. Man, enjoy the basketball. Football is back Thursday night. ACC, UAB, and Miami. NFL, Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and a full slate of games on Sunday. I will be back on Monday, man. I have enjoyed it. We will see you next time. We are out this bitch.